Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we want to continue our series of videos, our series of episodes about the problem of lack of appointment, the so-called process for against the queue when you face a problem with the Italian consulate, so you are unable to get an appointment with your local Italian consulate. And today we want to focus on another consulate. So with a recent case that we also recently won with a so-called against the queue, so a lack of appointment case with the Italian Consulate of New York. So this is Marco Bersani as always from the Bersani Law Office from Italy, and do not lose any more time. Let's start. New York is a really overwhelmed consulate for sure. You know, many Italian immigrants in the past arrived through Ellis Islands, so they landed in New York, and so many immigrants remain in the New York State, New York area, so under the jurisdiction of the Italian Consulate of New York. So New York actually is one of the most overwhelmed consulate for the application for Italian citizenship by descent. It's, historically normal. What is really important today is to talk about the problem of lack of appointments. So you want to make a claim, you want to claim your Italian citizenship, jure sanguinis, Italian citizenship by descent, but you are unable to do that. You have all documents, everything is ready, your application for it is ready, but when you connect to the website of the Italian consulate, you try to search for an appointment, but it's always impossible. You don't find an appointment. When you click for Italian citizenship by descent consular services, you don't find an appointment. Also, the Italian consulate in New York was one of the Italian consulate who introduced the so-called waiting list. So basically you are inserted in a so-called waiting list when you try to make an appointment, and so you need to wait until there's a free spot, and so the Italian consulate will set you an appointment day, which is an interesting thing to also cover into this video because other consulates don't have the waiting list. So it's also important to understand, what if I in the waiting list? What do I need to do? Wait or act? We will cover also this point too. As always, let's make a very quick introduction why you need to go through the court in Italy. So when you face a lack of appointment where you're unable to have an appointment for your Italian citizenship by descent, when and why you can go through the alternative way to apply to the court. You can do that when you are trying to make an appointment and you don't find an appointment at all, or with the waiting list is way more higher than 2 years. So that's very important. So let's assume that, for example, you book an appointment and you have to wait 6 months, for example, for an appointment. Well, you need to go to the consulate. You cannot just say, I don't want to wait 6 months. I have rushed to apply, and so I don't want to wait. No, you cannot choose. The law says that the Italian consulate must process your application in maximum 2 years. So if your application will be processed in less than 2 years, you have no other choice than go through the consular route. But if there is a violation of the 2 years legal term, then you can switch and ultimately a final application in Italy through an Italian immigration attorney. So pay attention on this very important legal point. The law doesn't say that the waiting list is something you need to accomplish. So it doesn't say that the fact that you are in the waiting list means that you need to wait. The 2 years legal term is still valid. So if you are waiting, there are many people that are waiting in the waiting list for more than 2 years. So what do you have to do? You have to still continue waiting? Maybe not. So you can switch to the court path. So the legal principle is still the same. Beside there is a waiting list or no, the application, from the moment you make a claim, the application must end before the 2 years legal term. If not, you can switch to the court application. And so here we have also a case that we recently processed and recently won with a family living in New York State, so living under the jurisdiction of the New York consulate. In this case also the process was the following. There was a path starting from the great-grandparents. The great-grandparents came from through Ellis Islands, so they remain in New York State, and so of course all the Italian blood, and the Italian grandparents never naturalized as an American citizen, so they remain Italian citizen for the entire life. Of course, we have, of course, to provide all the documentation, so the birth certificate, naturalization records, of letter of no naturalization, the so-called certificate of non-existence of naturalization from the USCIS. So you need to provide, of course, your eligibility for Italian citizenship by descent. And additionally, of course, you need to provide some evidence that you try your best effort to have an appointment with your local Italian consulate, but it was impossible. And so this is what we did in this case. So we attacked some screenshots, some videos about your attempts to make an appointment, that it was impossible, and so on. And of course, here also the judge from the south of Italy, approved the case. So also in this case, the judge says the same thing. So beside the fact that we have a eligible case because all the applicants filed all the documents with apostille, with all the translation, with showing, of course, the eligibility for Italian citizenship by descent, what is really important is that they try and they submit some real concrete evidences that they tried their best to get an appointment, but it was actually impossible to have an appointment. The consulate was not responsive, and so the judge says, okay, so I recognize your Italian citizenship by descent, given the fact that you are unable to make your claim to the Italian consulate, then I recognize your Italian dual citizenship by descent. And so the clients were recognized as Italian citizens. So it's very important that you make a consultation, ask advice to an Italian immigration attorney, because an Italian immigration attorney can guide you on what to do. It's not guaranteed that your case will be approved, of course, because nobody can guarantee that, but you can prepare a very strong process. That's very, very important. So that's why we always suggest to always contact us through the contact form or to book a consultation call. That's very, very important because it's the only way we have to talk with you face by face, to check your documents, to review your documents, to also raise some questions to you, of course, because sometimes we need to, each case is different. So each person has different stories. So it's important to directly talk with you. Of course, if you have questions, some comments, some thoughts, you want opinions, you want to share, that's totally fine. We are more than happy. The team is always happy to respond to you also here on the other social medias, of course. And what is really, really important is always important to not just make a like of the video, which is also important to us, to support the channel and to continue to share with you some actually free insight and free advice on the processes, but also to subscribe to the channel. It's also important both for us, but also for you, because you can receive immediately a notification as soon as we post a video, some information, a post, a survey, because also we love to hear from you. We want to hear what you want, the topic you want us to cover. So that's very important to join the community. As always, thank you so much for your time and see you on the next videos.